Hello everybody and welcome back to another live stream here on the channel. I hope you're all doing well this evening or whatever time it is in your respective time zone. Hope you're all doing well here. You know, I thought it's been a while since we've done a bit of a normal live stream and thought it'd be fun to do one tonight, so hope you're all doing well. Welcome everybody. I'm doing well, thank you, Cars Guy 5. I'm really happy with my setup today. I feel like my stream backgrounds are kind of hit or miss sometimes, and I really like this one. I want to try in the future to do more sort of little scenes. A big inspiration for my live streams is this channel I used to be good friends with. His name was Disney Cars Collector, and he's not around anymore. He hasn't posted a video in maybe like 5 years now, but back in the day, right when I started my channel back in 2017, he would stream like 3 or 4 times a week, and I would be there every single night, and he and I would just hang out and talk about cars, and he would always have these fun little displays and setups with a few Cars characters, and that's always kind of inspired how I do my backdrops. Sometimes, most of the time, it's just, it's either cars that are related to a theme, cars that I got recently, or cars that I think will be interesting to look at. Yes, I do. My last live stream, we played Marvel Rivals. No, I will say, I'm gonna, let's see here. I'm gonna put the little, I'm gonna see if, can I pin, I always forget, can you pin a comment in a live stream? Because I wanted to post the little tag I tell people to vote for the best car of the year, because the voting is supposed to end tonight. So if you haven't yet, please vote for the best car of the year. Here, yes, I can pin it. Woo! Okay, look at that. Hey! So now everyone who joins the stream can see me advertising So, if you haven't voted yet, then, please do. Here's the thing. Voting was supposed to end tonight, but, 3 of the spots in the vote are tied. Actually, sorry, 4 of the spots in the vote are tied, and, it's been really frustrating. I don't want half of my top 10 list to be items that are tied. That's out of my control, because I'm not the one voting for it, but I don't want half the list to be items that are in ties. I'll probably end up that way, though. I guess. We have over 250 votes this year, which is over 100 more than the year before, which is super cool. So I'm very excited about that. I really haven't, I've just been checking the numbers of how many votes the items have. I haven't really been paying attention to what those items are, in all honesty, and I don't want to reveal that. Do you still have your extra metal GRC McQueen and the plastic GRC Francesco? I do, yeah. I repainted the plastic one. You've seen it in some teaser images I've posted to the channel. I still have the metal one. I still have the plastic Francesco. Not sure what I'm going to do with those exactly, but I think I'll figure something out eventually. It's very exciting to have a spare Francesco, and it's honestly very exciting to have a a spare World Grand Prix model McQueen. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with those. If I had known I was going to get a metal McQueen duplicate, then I wish I had painted that instead of the plastic one, but, you know. I mean, I can't control when I get things, you know? It's as simple as that. I can't control that. So now I have a spare metal GRC McQueen and a spare Francesco. And yeah, we'll see what I end up doing with those. If anything, I mean, some duplicates I've had for years now. Like I've had a spare Aiken Axler, but I've had that since 2021, and I haven't done anything with it. Mostly because it's not a car that I get duplicates of often. I've never had a duplicate Aiken Axler before. Obviously, it's a car that's very often out. It's the Vietnam variant. Obviously, it's a car that's very frequently released, but I'm not buying duplicate piston cup racers usually, right? So I've been kind of nervous to repaint that into something. I don't know what to do with it. Everybody tells me make the VIN racers from Racerama, and I don't want to. In all honesty, it's not something I'm interested in doing a custom of. It's probably the best option. It would also be easy to paint. It's just, when I do customs, usually I like to have them be ones that I could use in videos, and I don't really see myself having a use for the VIN racers, if I'm being honest. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that spare Aiken Axler. What I really, really, really want to prioritize, I haven't done customs in a while other than like necessary ones for videos, but I really want to learn how to do decals. I really want to get into making decals. I think that's going to make things so next level, and then I can make the racers have actual logos and stuff beyond just hand-painted ones. I think that would be a great way to take my customs up to the next level, and I wouldn't feel as restricted with what I could paint. Because a lot of things I avoid doing just because they'd be too detailed to hand paint with paint pens. You know, I've been doing art for years and years and years, but in that medium with the paint pens, it's not really gonna be super easy for me to make. It's not gonna be super easy for me to make like, you know, a full piston cup racer with the contingency sponsors and everything. Yeah, I've heard all I need is decal paper. So I have a printer, but I don't know if it'll work with my printer. I may have to go out and, like, I don't know, get them from somewhere. I'm not entirely sure. It is February. That's kind of crazy to me. But by the time, you know, I'm in college now, which means that my school year, my semester starts in like January, the last week of January. So I get kind of thrown off, and I'm sure I've said this before, but I only have classes this semester Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I have a 4-day weekend every weekend. So I have more weekend than I have week at this point. Which is great, but it does kind of throw off my week a little. It's weird to be starting and it's weird to be starting. Hatsune Miku is in Fortnite. She is, and I own her in Fortnite. I bought her immediately. I used literally the last of my V-Bucks and I bought Miku. talking about Hatsune Miku. Never thought I'd see that. People act like I wouldn't know what these things are. Of course I do. Jerry, you made it. Welcome. You didn't miss it. I'm so proud. How's it going? I hope you're doing well. Did I put the link to vote in the description as well? Yeah, I did. Okay. There we go. I'm just trying to make sure we get a few more votes, right? I think I'm going to extend the deadline. But if you haven't voted for who you think the best car of 2024 is, please make sure to do so. Link is in the description and also in the pinned comment. So please make sure you vote. Like I said, 4 of our top 10 spots are tied right now, and I can't disclose what those are. But if you haven't voted yet, please do. And here's hoping that people will vote for the things that are tied so that I no longer have 4 of the 10 spots tied. It's so cool to just hear Ty's iconic voice say things like Hatsune Miku. Is there anything else my iconic voice should say? I'm excited to see the diecast history of Doc Hudson. I am as well. I'm working on it currently. I recorded it in December, hoping that I would be able to get it out in time for Christmas. Of course I didn't. I'm currently working on the templates, and then I'm going to spend tomorrow editing it. And Robin is going to help me edit it as well. And hopefully I could get it out like Monday, Tuesday. I'd love to get it out tomorrow, but I don't think I'll be able to. So I'm thinking Monday, Tuesday. I also have to help my old buddy Muptown Funk get his video for this week out as well. So I do kind of have to prioritize that. I think he's fully recorded it. So I do kind of have to balance that. I also have to balance finishing the Cars Adventure season, which I want to get into. I had a few different things that I haven't really done in January. I kind of took a break. Muptown Funk is such a lucky guy to get help from you. Yeah, right? He's a super nice guy. He always forgets that I exist, but when I can help, I always make sure to. Since I was off of school for most of January, I did kind of primarily take a break from my channel, and as you can see over the past few days, I've got back into doing kind of daily uploads and pretty much daily reviews, getting back into the groove of that. A lot of January, I spent making bigger videos, less videos, but bigger videos, and I did that for a couple reasons. The first one was simply that I wanted to make big videos so that I could get as many eyes as possible on my best cars of the year vote. I'm not kidding. The reason why, because if you go to my channel in January, I have the Vote Now video I did at the end of December. And then right after that, I did Weird Knockoffs, then Errors and Inconsistencies, Book Club, started the Flash Game series. I released just a lot of big videos in January in hopes that if I made videos a lot of people watched, then a lot more people would vote on the poll. And that's what happened. So that went over very well. But that was also done to kind of help me get out of a funk that I was in, where for the past few months, I really haven't been enjoying editing or getting much editing done on larger projects. And I wanted to spend January kind of going back to some bigger projects and remembering that editing is not that hard. If I get all in my head about it sometimes, and that makes videos take forever. And for several months at the end of 2024, I don't know what it was, but I was just really burned out of editing stuff. And it's not fun. It's like a necessary evil. It's one of my least favorite parts of the video making process, but you have to do it or else the video, won't get done. That's how it goes. Welcome, CarsBoy95. Thank you for joining us. So, yeah, that's how it's been recently. That's why January was kind of formatted like that. But now I'm back to kind of your regularly scheduled program, daily reviews. Project 10K is coming back this month to wrap it up. I don't think it's going to wrap up this month. The thing with Project 10K is that I took like a very necessary break because the other videos left are insanely big videos. We have my fun facts video, which is fully recorded. The Q&A, I've been recording the Q&A for several months. It's 2 hours. I have to make an entire Cars Adventures movie and also the mega review. So I kind of took a deliberate break from Project 10K in December because of all my projects. And I took a break from doing a lot of videos in January. Now we're going back at it this month. And we're gonna get back into it, get back into the groove, back into the sort of usual stuff we do. So I've had people ask me if Project 10K is canceled, and I know sometimes I have a bad reputation when it comes to not finishing projects, but the last thing I want to do is not fulfill a 10,000 subscriber goal. And the collab as well. Thank you. Yeah, the collab video is actually done, except for my part in it. Do you guys remember when Ty rickrolled us? I've done that on several occasions, actually. How's the planes video? The planes video is 6.5 hours. There's about an hour left to edit. I've been trying to get back into it. I have not worked on it in a little while. But I'm as soon as I'm done with Project 10K, I'm going to focus on it. I'm not really sure when it's going to release because there's not that much work left to do. The biggest pain with the planes video is going to be getting it uploaded. Getting a 6.5 hour video through YouTube's copyright system when it's a review of a movie is going to be a nightmare. So what I've done is I've taken the segments I've already edited and I've run them through YouTube's copyright system to see what will and won't get me claimed. And then I've just gone in and, I've mirrored the footage, or I've put it like I've just mirrored the footage. You really murdered iMovie with that one, right? This is something I couldn't do with my old laptop. It runs just fine, it really does, but it's just going to be really tedious having to constantly upload and export everything. And of course, it takes up a lot of storage space. So it's going to be really a big mess uploading. And that's really one of the main reasons why I no longer have a release date for the planes video. It's simply because with the way YouTube's copyright works, I don't know how many times I'll have to run it through again and again, how much I'll have to alter and change. And that's one of the main reasons why it doesn't have a release date anymore. Because it's going to take a long time to upload. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish the video, get it all through YouTube's checks, and then I'll announce when it's uploading. Pink and Purple's delivery of "That Sucked" from Cars Christmas Chaos lives in my head rent-free. I love it so much. I should have invited him back for the planes video. There's a collaborative part in the planes video. Where I had to get a few people together for a part of it. Just have him say "that sucked" at the end of the planes video. That's when they're forced to watch planes, right? Is when he said that. That was so fun. I have a blooper reel. I have so many bloopers from that movie, and I don't know. I don't know if I could even release it. Like I really don't think I should. There's a Is the Plants vs. Detective going to be like that really long Toy Story 4 review someone made? That video was one of the worst YouTube videos I've ever seen. It's so whiny and pedantic, and like, I love long form reviews. That video gives long form reviews a bad name. 10 minutes in, the man claims that Pixar is gaslighting you by making Bo Peep's dress move, and I couldn't handle it. I love long form review content. I had to click off of that like 20 minutes in. Like no offense to the creator, but like, buddy, it's not that deep. The Planes video is only as long as it is because it has several different segments that go over multiple elements of the movie. It's more similar to, I don't know, like the Quentin reviews thing. I mean, I'm fine with Quentin reviews. I know a lot of people don't like him. I think his content is fine, except for the parts where he literally just adds filler to make his video super long. Like, there are segments in his videos where he just sits there for 20 minutes and is like, I want to get my video to the 7-hour mark. That's like, if you want to make a long video, the goal should not be, I want my video to be X length. It should be, I want content, you know? To me, it doesn't matter how long the video is, if it's a long video. What matters is that every minute of it is full of content or commentary of some kind. The final running time is probably going to be like 6 hours. There's one long part that I'm going to cut down because I simply have the audio unedited, and that part has to be edited. So when I say 6.5, I always forget that part isn't finished. And I'm not saying I'm better than these people, because I'm not. I use iMovie. I'm 20 and I use iMovie, and I talk about toy cars on the internet. And I really appreciate anyone that has the ability to make a video of that size, regardless of the subject matter. And even though I know I just made jokes about that guy's Toy Story video, it's clear it's a topic that guy's passionate about, passionate enough to make a super long video. And same with Quentin reviews. I really love his review. Like, I'll watch that guy's stuff when it's a show I haven't even watched, you know? To have the passion to make a video that's that long, that's just full of content, that's the sort of stuff that I dreamed of when I was a kid. Like, that's the sort of YouTube stuff that is insane that it exists now. Okay, people are over here making 8-hour retrospectives on, like, Disney Channel shows. Kean Carlisle is one of my personal favorites. He's what got me into the genre when he did his Lab Rats retrospective. I've always loved making long-form content, stuff as comprehensive as possible, as big as I can possibly make it. And so the Planes video is really a culmination of a lot of things that I enjoy doing. I just love making huge videos that I could pack full of content. And the Planes video, again, it's not just planes. It isn't. If you've seen, like, the Quentin review style video, you know he takes breaks to talk about different elements of the shows. Like, he'll talk about merchandise or the video games. My Planes retrospective has a lot of that too. There are a variety of different segments sprinkled throughout that don't just review the movie. So when you see, oh, it's a 6-hour video on Planes, it's not a 6-hour video on Planes the movie. It's a 6-hour video on Planes and the build up to it and how it was made, and the pieces of Cars media that were made to tie into it, and the merchandise and the tie-in stuff and the video game and the theme park. So I don't think there was theme park stuff for Planes, but you get the point. It's all the elements that come together. It's not just the movie, it's the experience of it. And it's going to be the same thing for the Planes Fire and Rescue video. Longest video I've ever watched was yours. Yours, that was 4 hours. That is the longest video on my channel. I think that's the longest. Second longest is the Disney vlog, which is my personal favorite video I've ever done. And third longest for now is probably gonna be the Q&A when that's up. If the Q&A is up before the Planes video, because I'm gonna put out another call for questions, and we'll see. Well, you got 80 questions asking what's your favorite Pussycat racer. Yeah, I tend to avoid questions like that. They're just not interesting to me, and I really don't have one. But I do have some good questions in there. And the fun thing with the Q&A video is that it's questions that have been asked. I have kind of a bad reputation with Q&A videos. I was supposed to do one at like 5K and one at 7K and one at 8K, and I didn't. The 10K Q&A is all the questions I wanted to answer from all of those Q&As, going back to like 2.5 years ago when I hit 5K. So it's a lot of questions from a wide different time period. Would the fire and rescue retrospective be longer than the first one? $10 says it follows through. Yeah, Well, guess what? I've recorded 2 hours of it. I'm not recording 2 hours of the video and then scrapping it. In fact, I went on a whole tangent earlier about how I'm dedicated to finishing Project 10K and how I have no need to not finish it because it was a promise, because it's a subscriber goal. I'm not giving up on that. Would the fire and rescue retrospective be longer than the first one? I don't know. I think there's less to talk about with fire and rescue. Fire and rescue is interesting because I haven't seen it since... I've only ever seen it once. So a big chunk of the video is going to be about my kind of first reaction to it after a long time. And another major element of it is going to be, I have a really big segment planned for that dedicated to the downfall of the Planes franchise. So the first Planes video starts with a long segment on how Planes was made. The second Planes video is going to end with a really long segment on the downfall of everything and how what happened and how it went away. I don't think it'll be as long. Like, my goal, just because it's a part 2, I feel kind of obligated to make it bigger than the first one, but I simply don't think there's as much content to discuss with Planes, Fire, and Rescue. We'll see. We'll see for sure. But again, my goal isn't make it long for the sake of making it a long video. My goal is put all the content I want in there, and go from there. Are we going to talk about the video game and the incredible D-Tornado Fire? Well, you see, funny story there. Yeah, I've been editing Diecast history for the past few days. And the thing that makes Doc's episode so interesting is that he has a story that no other Cars character has when it comes to the Diecast line, in the sense that he's a main character who died between movies. So Doc's Diecast history is really interesting. Because with all these other Radiator Springs characters, we're looking at a wide variety of toy lines that Doc is simply not a part of. You know? Like, I'm doing Luigi and Guido after Doc. And for them, I talk about variants from all 3 movies. Plus, after Cars 2, there's the Road Trip line. After Cars 3, there's the NASCAR line and the Fan Favorites line. There's the Glow Racers. There's Race and Rescue now. For Doc, it's just Cars. And a few post-Cars 1 things. And everything else are just the miscellaneous variants of him we've gotten ever since. If you think about it, in the past 10 years, we've gotten maybe 5 variants of Doc total, and it's interesting. And what's really interesting about it is that the Doc episode is only a few minutes shorter than the Sally episode. And he doesn't have that many fewer variants than a lot of the other Radiator Springs cars. It's just that for Doc, it's very front-loaded, because you had a ton of Doc variants coming out, within the first few years, and then it really slowed down because the character doesn't appear anymore. And something I didn't realize until I worked on Diecast history was that the Disney 100 line is the only, special edition toy line Doc is in. It's the only one. Because all the other special edition lines are expanded universe lines. All the other special edition lines are expanded universe lines that take place at some point in the timeline. And so, yeah, Doc has just an interesting kind of different story, unlike any other character that we're ever going to cover in diecast history. And like I said, I've recorded that in its entirety. I'm working on the templates currently, and then I'm gonna get some help editing it so I could get it out soon. I wanted to get it out a while ago, but I just couldn't really work out the time for it. So I feel like I'm kind of rushing now to get it out. Like not rushing, but like cramming the work for it into the next few days. Because I want to get it done and I want to get it out there. And I want to stop having that habit for diecast history. I've said it several times now, but my goal for diecast history this year is to have it be a bi-weekly series. And I want that to start this week. I want diecast history out every 2 weeks. I don't know how much I'll be able to commit to that, but that was always the plan with diecast history. Originally, diecast history was supposed to be weekly. Diecast history is almost a year old now. It was going to be weekly. But when I started it, diecast history consumed so much of my time that I didn't have time for other videos. And then it just kind of drifted away and became really inconsistent. And while the point of some of my other series is inconsistent, I've said it before, Cars Randomness is supposed to only be out once every few months. That's kind of the point behind it. I don't want to make it too frequently. I want diecast history out frequently because there are too many cars out there. I don't want to be making diecast. I want to make sure that I can finish. I want to make sure that I can talk about every diecast ever made. And at this rate, yeah, we did 10 episodes in the first year. Yes, my favorite is Nigel. It's like there's so much left. There's so much left. I said it before. Cars Adventures is coming back this month. I have an interesting announcement regarding it. I don't know how it's going to go over, but yeah. There's a change coming to Cars Adventures for the future that I'm considering implementing. Toy Story 3 was always my favorite. Toy Story 3 was actually the first movie I saw in the movie theater, so. But it's one of my favorites. Yeah, so the thing with diecast history, and I've said that, I know I've said this before, but McQueen and Mater, there will never be harder characters to do episodes on. There will never be characters with more variants than McQueen and Mater. Getting them out of the way first, I think, was one of the best decisions I could make. It immediately had people interested in the series. They're the main characters, and also just like, I mean, I don't know, I had to do them first. And now I'll never have an episode as hard to make as that. I'll have ones that are annoying and tedious. I honestly dread the day. Most recent Cars Adventure season was it's the Route 66 one. I honestly dread the day that I have to do the Cars 1 Piston Cup racers, because as fun as those are, nearly every one of them has a rubber tires variant. So it's just going to be like, here's Brush Kerber. Fun facts about Brush Kerber. Here's rubber tires, Brush Kerber. Repeat 35 times. Like, that one's not going to be fun. That one's going to probably do well because it's pissing up. That one's going to be fun to make, probably. But the rubber tires variants, like, there's nothing I can say. It's like when I cover the lenticulars. Do you notice when I get to the lenticulars in diecast history, I talk about them over the course of, like, 5 seconds? Like, I'm editing the doc episode. And here I am stretching the template across my audio, and it's 2 minutes long each time. And then or like a minute and a half, 2 minutes long each time. And then I get to the lenticulars, and I talk about them for like 4 seconds. I talk about what a lenticular diecast is more than I talk about the lenticular doc diecasts. And I've wondered, when should I stop explaining what lenticulars are? I think people get the point now. But part of diecast history is making sure it's easily accessible to new collectors. So I always explain what lenticulars are. I always explain a lot of different concepts, even if it gets kind of repetitive. But there's nothing to say about the lenticulars. And for Doc, there are 5 of them. Doc has 5 lenticulars. It's crazy. It's regular Doc, version 1 with the opening and closing eyes, and then the Hudson Hornet. And then in 2010, version 2 lenticular of Doc and the Hudson Hornet, and then Hudson Hornet with headset. There are 5. There are 5 Doc color changers, and here they are in my video, back to back to back to back to back. And there's really nothing I could add about them. I also own none of them, so it makes it less interesting. The lenticulars get so repetitive, but at the very least they look a little different. When I get to the rubber tires cars, it's going to be so boring. All I can do is condense them into like 5-second segments. I've just been talking about working on the diecast history for Doc. I couldn't figure out if I wanted Doc or the Hudson Hornet in the thumbnail. I just chose regular Doc, because I'm sure some of you saw. For characters, it's difficult figuring out what to make the main one in each thumbnail be sometimes. I try to make it like a definitive version, but also one that's eye-catching. And with Doc, there's kind of that duality there of what is the normal Doc. It's normal Doc, obviously, but to some people, you might think Doc and think of the Hudson Hornet first. So I wasn't really sure which one I wanted to do, and then I just settled on normal Doc. That was mainly because the regular Hudson Hornet doesn't have any good product photos that are at that angle. I need items at that very particular angle for the thumbnails of diecast history. So in the case of that, the only Hudson Hornet that has good images from that angle that are his product photos are it's just the dirt track Hudson Hornet of Cars 3. And I really didn't want a Cars 3 Doc to be the one in the thumbnail. Specifically the Thailand variant. I didn't want that to be the one in the thumbnail, because it's not a Doc from the first movie. It's the Cars 3 Doc. So, I mean, that's why I chose that. Luigi and Guido are going to be a nightmare, honestly. Luigi and Guido are going to be covered together, but across 2 episodes. So I've considered making Luigi on the thumbnail of one and Guido on the thumbnail of the other, but I think I'm simply just going to pack them together in the same image, and that might be a little tricky. I'll have to see. I might have to experiment with that and see how that goes. Have they released a regular Fabulous Hudson Hornet yet? Thailand? No. No, regular Fabulous Hudson Hornet hasn't been out since 2016, which is crazy. The last time he was out was in 2016. And I even addressed that in the video. Usually with diecast history, I never integrate my own personal opinions. That's kind of my big rule with making the series. Don't inject my own personal opinions. Don't, sometimes I kind of slip through. But yeah, usually it's like, don't interject my personal opinions and don't speculate. But in the case of that, I literally said, like, yeah, this Doc hasn't been out since 2016. It almost feels like the dirt track variants replaced it. I went to Target today. I went to 4 stores. Every weekend I go to every weekend I go to 2 Targets and 2 Walmarts, and it was bad this week. There was nothing. Like, nothing of value at all. Like, there was nothing. At the very least, my stores are caught up now. They skipped over several waves, but they are caught up now. Yeah, I mean, all of the Hudson Hornet releases since Cars 3 have been Cars 3 themed. Which is weird to think about. I mean, I think the biggest crime there, at least there is a Hudson Hornet. His headset variant's been missing since 2015, since they did it with a stand. Yeah, I mean, the NASCAR re-releases have been, I think, one of the biggest mistakes. The metallic NASCAR waves have honestly been one of the biggest mistakes I've seen in the Cars Diecast line in a while. My stores to this day have nothing but those, all of my Walmarts. It's been ridiculous. They're not stocking regular cars because they're too overstocked with metallic NASCAR re-releases of characters that aren't in the movies. Like, I'm sorry, but they were exciting when they happened, but they were so over promoted and so overstocked. It's gotten so frustrating. And it's just one wave. Like, the fact that they over promoted it so much and it was just one wave with 6 cars and that's it. Like, I'm sorry, but most of my Walmarts have like 4 or 5 copies of that wave. Do you really expect them to sell? It's just 6 cars. I haven't seen a regular single at my regular Walmart for like 4 months. And the other annoying thing is there are a ton of great haulers out this year. And half the Walmarts here don't sell haulers anymore, and I don't know which ones do and which ones don't. So I'm gonna miss out on these great haulers that just came out. Yeah, they did release Danny, but he was just one. He was just one new item. So what happened is all the Walmarts, all my Walmarts, ended up restocking the NASCAR cars, and oh, maybe there's one Danny in there. Maybe there's one Danny. Like, the fact that it wasn't even a full wave, like the fact that there was only one new car in the wave was really disappointing. Because it just added to the overstock. What's Uptown Funk up to tonight? I don't know. Don't believe him. Just watch. I can tell you what Uptown Funk's up to. But not Uptown, sorry. You could ask my buddy Bruno about that. I hear he might know. He's probably getting ready for the Grammys. That guy. He's always up to something. Like, I'm sorry. I hate... Well, Mud Racing Speedy Comet was delayed. So that at least I get. I'm sorry. I hate complaining about stock. I really do. But, NASCARs have been annoying. What diecast history are you most looking forward to? That's a good question. I'm really not sure. I'm honestly interested in covering the rest of the Raiders cars because I want to know how long the videos are. I'm honestly interested in seeing how long those videos turn out compared to the other episodes. But really, there's not an episode that sticks out in my mind as one I'm excited to do. It's just so procedural. It's just, okay, who's next? Who's next? Who's next? I'm not really thinking that far ahead. There's nothing I'm genuinely, like... There's nothing I could single out as being more excited for than the others. It's just... And I think that's because I enjoy making all of them. I enjoy making all of them, so... There's not really one that stands out to me. It's just, okay, what's the next one, and then what's the next one, and then what's the next one. Every single cone release. After I did that joke in a Cars Adventures episode about me making every single tire stack, I've genuinely considered making that. And I feel like it would be such a mess to make that video that I haven't done it. But just like for the memes, I've considered doing it. Yeah, I've considered every single toolbox as well. It's just it's not like it's unfortunately not as viable as you may think. It's so messy. See, the pit stop barriers are easier because I know when those started and I know when they were made. It's just that's probably the most boring one you can do, in all honesty. It's just not interesting. I really. I don't know. I love how seriously I'm taking this. One of my favorite comments I've ever gotten was when I did several years ago now. I did an every single car episode that was like every like Dynaco helicopter and Lightyear blimp, and somebody, I think one of my frequent commenters, made a comment saying, "Guys, I think he's starting to run out of ideas." And I replied, "Are you kidding? I ran out of ideas years ago." And I always thought it was funny because diecast history, every single car, some of the episodes have such funny names with how specific they are, like that one in particular. And it's just because somehow those characters have enough variance. I want to do an every single car episode on Lug and Nutty because for some reason those two have like 5 variants. They have enough to be an entire episode. But I don't want to make it because I think everyone would laugh at me for making a video of every variant of them. I feel like that would feel so desperate. When in reality, it's not desperation on my end, it's the fact that there are so many variants of them, it warrants an episode of that series. When do you think you'll make Multiversal Dash? I've discussed on several occasions that Multiversal Dash isn't in production anymore. I'm sorry, I'm really tired of having to answer that. I've explained several times what happened there. At this point, I honestly regret announcing it, if I have to be completely serious. If I knew I wouldn't hear the end of it. It's not something I'm pursuing. Delete every video you mentioned it in. But I've been asked about it in every live stream I've done for the last year, so I'll have to delete every live stream too. I'm kidding, I'm kidding, I'm kidding. I appreciate that I made something that people care enough about, you know? I really do. I appreciate that I made something that people cared about so much that they were upset when I stopped work on it. I really appreciate that. But on my end, it's something I'm not working on anymore. I'm sorry. It's as simple as that. I don't get why somebody is continuing to explain Dream SMP lore in my chat. It, help. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't really get the point of that. What happened to your broken mater after the video where you showed all your broken cars? I still have it. It's on my table. I have him put together so he looks like he isn't broken, but he's broken. Like my DJ is so broken that I can't even fake it. Like I literally tried to tape that guy together. But that mater is decent looking enough where I don't have to. Yeah. I said once a while ago, the multiversal dash is just on vacation, chilling, waiting for Marvel to stop ruining the concept of the multiverse. Yeah, if the MCU didn't completely butcher my interest in multiverse storytelling, I'd probably still do it. In all honesty. They completely ruined one of my favorite storytelling mechanics. I'm not talking about Spider-Verse, I'm talking about the MCU. I have no interest in the Dream SMP. They're all just losers yelling at each other on podcasts. That's what the mask is. Guys, I eat YouTube drama. I take in I take in YouTube drama like it's going out of style, but even I am tired of Dream making a mess of himself every 5 months. That sounded gross. You get what I mean? I watch videos about YouTube drama, about YouTubers I don't even watch. I just find it really interesting to track the careers of these people and see where they messed up. And I mean, it's just entertainment on my end, I guess. But I think it has kind of taught me how to act in a way. I'm very, very cautious and I'm very careful of what I say pretty much all the time. Um, oh yeah, that had multiverse junk in it too. Don't worry, they were clones the whole time. Yeah, I love tracking your downfall. I'm watching this guy who did a 3-hour review on the Squad Eliminate Batman group. I never played that game because it's terrible, but I'm watching. I've been really invested in a video somebody made on it. Well, from what I heard, Dream started it, so. Fight, 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 fight! Have the Minecraft people fight. I've considered, no joke, I've considered making a. I've considered making like a Minecraft SMP for Cars YouTubers before. Yeah, well, again, Dream started it. Come at me. Trust me, I've tracked this like the back of my hand. I know every misstep Dream's taken better than I know my own name. Step 1, making a YouTube channel. God, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Do what you want. Just, like, make good decisions. Be careful what you say. Watch what you say. I think it's as simple as that. I think, like, the number one rule of the internet that people don't abide by is that you need to watch what you say and you need to word things carefully. And if you're going to have some sort of outburst, don't be stupid. There you go. If you're going to have some sort of outburst, don't do it online. Especially when your reputation's on the line. The thing with being on social media, something I think about all the time. Your reputation is on the line every single second. Every second. Like, everything you do could potentially end your career. You need to be careful and you need to know what to say. And you need to think it out. I think it's as simple as that. Just be careful. Be kind, be a decent person. And if there's a problem, you gotta iron it out without, like, there are so many situations with YouTube with YouTube drama where, like, why did you have to make this public? There are times where people are exposed for doing actual terrible, horrible things that they deserve to be exposed for. Good. If you're doing that, then I think you're doing good work. But for things like this, where people are just beefing with each other, it's so unnecessary. I don't care, and I don't think I should care. You guys should just have, like, a nice phone call with each other. Not nice, but, like, you guys should just have a phone call and settle it off the internet. Why are you sending videos at each other? If you two have a problem with each other, don't make it public. Don't make it public, because now there are people who don't like either of you. You know? You're losing your audience. It's so immature. That's my 2 cents on it. Trust me, I'm pretty sure I'm older than Tommy in it. It's the internet. Everybody here, you know, we're all trying to make our way. And the best we can do is just be decent to each other. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Oh, somebody new voted on my poll. Let's see if they untied one of the 4 ties that I have right now. No. No, I don't think. Oh, maybe. Hey! Yes, one of the 4 ties has been untied by a new vote. We did it. Woo! If you haven't voted yet, please make sure to vote for the best car of 2024. I can't say who they voted for. I don't want to reveal it. But if you haven't voted for the best car of the year yet, please do. Please make sure you do. Yeah. There are still okay, so now one of them is actually a 4-way tie. So we broke one tie but made one of the other ties bigger. But that's just kind of how it is. That's fine, I guess. I don't know. I'm going to cut it off. If there are ties, then that's how it is. It's not up to me. Who's in dead last? I'll say I don't want to give it away. I'm gonna give away the entire list when I do the top 10 in a few days. I don't want to. I'd love to say it, but anything I say can sway somebody, even if they vote for something as a joke. I don't want to give anything else away. I think I'm going to be extending the final day to vote by a few days, just so that we could get a few more in there, just in case. Because why not? Let me put up a post about it. I have this weird YouTube glitch today, and I don't think it's going to allow me to post this, so that's annoying. Yep. Okay, so I can't even do that. My YouTube is completely glitched right now, and I can't put up posts. And I can't do it through my phone, because my phone doesn't have, I can't do a link. So I can't even tell people, hey, vote, on the night the voting is supposed to end, so that's annoying. So I think I'll extend it a little bit. Does anyone have no votes? I haven't checked yet, actually. I'm not sure. I'm gonna find that out right now. I won't say who has 0 votes, but I'm gonna see if anyone does. So 43 different items have been... 43 cars have been voted for, and I think there were 53 in the poll total, so a few haven't been. I do have Vern. I reviewed him when I got him. I got him a few years ago now. I like Vern. Vern looked at me funny once. Just kidding. I never saw his eyes in the movie. Okay, we've been going for an hour now. Wow, look at it. Thank you, everybody, for joining us so far. Vote for the best car of 2024. Link in the pinned comment and the description. I should have made this entire stream be me incredibly obnoxiously telling people to vote the entire time, which wouldn't have any effect because it's going to be the same few people watching the stream. But that would have been really funny. Are you gonna count down the least voted cars? I think I'm gonna spend part of the video. I'm not sure how I'm gonna format it because this is primarily gonna be a top 10 list. I think I might not make it a top 10 list and might just have it be everything instead, and just call it, instead of calling it top 10, have it be just called. Then that would make me a little less annoyed about the ties. If it isn't just a top 10 and I go over everything. I think if I do everything from worst to best, that might be a good idea. Instead of just doing the top 10, because I do want to reveal all of the results, so why not make that the point of the video? And again, then I don't have to be as annoyed that, oh, in 4th place we have 7 cars tied together, what? Again, I haven't been paying attention to who's in what place. I will say, 1st and 2nd were tied for a very long time. They were kind of duking it out for quite a while. And then 1st place completely overtook 2nd and now has almost 10 more votes than it. And I won't reveal what that is. I haven't seen Dream do anything wrong. I follow a lot of YouTube genre. You probably don't want me to say it, but I have a laundry list, man. You know. I don't care enough. I don't care enough. I just don't understand why you're giving me Dream lore in my chat. I don't. Please do all of them so I can laugh at the guy who was in dead last. To my surprise, all of the 2024 color changers have gotten votes. That I'll say that. I won't say how many, but all the color changers have gotten votes, which I was not expecting because I think we got some really, really weak color changers. I should have put like a graphic on screen being like, vote now, vote for the car, talk about the car, vote for car, toy car. What's the best one? Go, go, go. It'll be nice to not have to anymore. To not have to, it'll be so nice. It's gonna be so nice it's good. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I completely lost my train of thought. It's gonna be really nice to not have to put the little tag to tell people to vote at the beginning of every video anymore. I'm sure some people have probably gotten annoyed of that in the last month, so I'm sorry. I'm just, like I said, I've been really trying to get as many people to vote for this as possible. And it's worked. We've gotten over 120 more votes than we did last year. Ty, if all your cars were sentient, who do you think you would get along with most? That's a very good question. You know, I really think, I really think Metallic NASCAR Danny Suarez and I would be good friends. I do have a custom of Candace from Racerama. It's not very good, but I have it. Guys, I hate to break it to you. I hate to break it to you. But Jodon Jackson is no longer going to be on my shelf anymore. He's got to move to the other one. I have to move GRC, Francesco, Miguel, and Shu on, and it's going to knock Jodon Jackson off. Which is a shame because I really, Which is a shame because I like using him for comparisons. And Cal. I'm going to miss having Cal on myself, not just because Cal's one of my favorite characters, but because Cal works really well as just a generically shaped car that I could use for videos, and he's close in my reach, and now he won't be anymore. Well, Rip Klitschkowski is from a fictional country because Rip Klitschkowski was originally supposed to die, and they didn't want to kill off a car that represented a specific country, because then that may look bad. So, just get rid of some of your other cars so Jodon Jackson can stay. I'll get rid of all my cars except Jodon Jackson. Great idea. That's an oddly specific answer, not Danny, not NASCAR Danny, but Metallic NASCAR Danny. Well, I mean, not gonna lie, I just said it because I thought it'd be a funny name. That's one of my least favorite items I have to review right now. I'm not looking forward to that. NASCAR Danny is one of my least favorite NASCAR designs, and I don't know what I can say about it that I haven't before. I'm just excited because with that, and now we know there's a rally race, race and rescue Danny coming, which means I can do a new version of the Cars Randomness Names Danny Bro sketch, and I'm very excited for that. No, they said rest in peace Cal Weathers as a joke because I said that Cal Weathers is being moved off my shelf. Kyle Petty is fine. Color Changer shall be sacrificed in a ritual to bring him up John Funk. Yeah, where is that guy right now? What do you guys think he's up to? Thank you for joining us, Bullish Toy Gamer. Like, what, where, what do you think Uptown Funk is doing right now? If I could spend a day in that guy's shoes, right? I wonder. I wonder. Hmm. How do you think 2025 is going so far in terms of releases? I think it's one of the best years for releases we've had in a very, very long time in terms of re-releases. I just think we need more new releases. I think the reason why they got a rebuild is because they just reused the names of pre-existing characters, and that was it. I don't think it's, I think here's the thing. We think about these things far more. Like we think about these things far more than the people making them do, And that's good. It is. I agree. It'll be a great year when they release background pickup number 182. Here's the thing. This year's re-releases are so good, I don't even want to complain about the lack of new releases. Oh my god, is that Uptown Funk? Yo! I didn't think he'd make it here. Hey! Wow. Is this what it feels like to be noticed by your hero? Guys, I think he's trying to subliminally advertise to us. What was that clicking noise in the background? My water bottle. Sorry. So your thoughts on Deadpool and Wolverine? I thought it was pretty good. Why do I have nothing else to say about that? I thought it was pretty good. I think it's on par with the other two. I wouldn't say it's my favorite of the Deadpools, but it's solid, man. I don't think there's a need to make a spin-off movie about Mater when he's the co-lead. Like, I mean, we basically just have. I mean, isn't Cars 2 basically already that? There's so much Mater content. If you were to make a spin-off based on a Cars character, just like. Ty, with Race and Rescue having racers from every movie, do you think the GRC will end because of it? I mean, I think that the GRC is over. Do you want a spin-off based on Craig Faster? Yeah, there. Thank you. Thank you. That's the spin-off we need. That's the spin-off we need. Why is he a monster truck? How did he get so rusty? Why is there a Rusty's Racing Center ID with his name on it at the end of Cars 3? The mysteries of Craig Faster are so fascinating. It's one of the biggest questions in the entire Cars universe. The fact that there's not spin-off content based on Craig Faster is insane. I have not seen Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I'm not really interested in it. I'm sorry. I let me rant for a minute. I've heard it's fine. I really don't like the animation. The 3D masquerading as 2D looks so bad to me in a post X-Men 97 world. It's like, why can't we just... I know 2D's more expensive, but to have this, like, it looks really cheap. It's supposed to look like the comics from the 60s, but it feels so performative to me because it's CGI. It feels almost, like, disrespectful to the art, in my opinion, to make a series based on classic 60s Spider-Man art and then just be like, but we made it CGI because it's cheaper. It's like, you guys just made one of the best-looking animated shows in the last 30 years. It just feels cheap to me, and I've heard it's okay. I'm not interested in another Spider-Man origin story. I think it's the last kind of Spider-Man story I need to see in 2025. Another generic, oh, he's a freshman again. I don't care. Also, the homemade suit, the main suit for it, is really bad, and I really don't like it. Like, the homemade suit in Homecoming, good design. This one, not so much. And then he gets a new suit, and it's the Fantastic Four Future Foundation suit. Like, what's up with that? I really don't care about it. But I've heard Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio are voicing Kingpin and Daredevil, apparently. So I may just check out whatever episode they're in. Well, there have been conflicting rumors on the status of the remaining GRC cars, and a theory I've heard that I think is pretty solid is that perhaps those GRC rumors are for the Race and Rescue line. Honestly, only time will tell at this point. What's your thoughts on Race and Rescue having race cars and rescue vehicles? I think it's a really genius move. I would prefer if it were just the rescue vehicles, but I think it's very smart. I think it's very clever. I also like that there's a book tie-in to help explain that, because I feel like it could be a little confusing. I wish there was a blurb on the packaging, but at least we know there's a book coming. Didn't the TikTok Miles cameo in it? Did he? That's unfortunate. Listening to the GRC, but it's likely that very early in production they were planned for GRC and they later revised them to be for Race and Rescue. I think that's a good point, but I think it's really stupid to bring the GRC back again this year if they're not making new ones, you know? I appreciate it because a lot of the GRC cars have been hard to find. He says with 5 of the 9 GRC cars in front of him. But I think It's nice to bring them back, but I don't mind if the GRC doesn't have the full roster. Then again, we did see the comic, and they were all there. It's not all that different from the Neon Racers missing cars. Yeah, I almost wish that GRC comic from the magazine didn't have all the characters in it, because it could make sense. Like, it made sense to me. Like, not all the World Grand Prix racers are gonna come back every time they do a race. You know, it's been like 8 years. Lewis Rip and Nigel Bryant. Yeah, and I'm fine with that. I have no problem. If like the Neon Racers, sure, I'd love to have a full set of the World Grand Prix cars in the GRC. I would love to. But from a canon standpoint, if they want to say, hey, these guys weren't in the race, then that's fine with me. You know? It's not like the Neon Racers where we know all of them are in the race and we know Carla Veloso won it and she's not even in that line. For the GRC, they just made it up for the toy line without really other tie-ins. So to say, hey, these are the cars competing in it, I'm fine if it's not the full roster. Would I prefer if it were? Yeah. But from a canon standpoint, I don't mind all of them not being there. I said 7 years since Cars 3. 7 years since the last TRC. Cars 3 turns 8 this summer. Feel old yet? I always feel old. Rip got into politics and is currently running New Rare India. I'm proud of that guy. I'm proud of that guy. Like, it's nice to see, like, if the World Grand Prix racers aren't there, I like to think they've moved on with their lives. They don't need to commit to racing with people they met 14 years ago. They have lives. Nigel Gearsley has 17 children he has to take care of. Let him be. Yeah, like, Jeff not being there. Jeff not being there makes sense, because Jeff is retired in Universe. Then again, depending on who you ask, McQueen is too, but McQueen's the main character, so we give him a pass. Yeah, but, like, it's fictional. They can do whatever they want with Lewis Hamilton. Like, put him in Fortnite. I don't follow real world racing. I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm just Googling how many Doc Hudsons are there for good. I was gonna have some punchline about diecast history that I'm working on, but I couldn't. Is that a thing that happened? Lose starts a race and immediately blows. That's amazing. I've said it before that I don't follow real world racing because I think I'd be bored by it. But like I don't know. The only exciting thing is when somebody gets put in danger. So I don't really care. If you're into it, more power to you. I could never. Yeah, I can't believe Muptown Funk is in the chat. That's insane. Test search history must have the most random specific cars questions. No, I never really Google questions. My search history is just Cars Diecast that I need images of for videos. Anyway, guys, I think I'm going to be wrapping up the stream in the next few minutes. I'd like to thank you all so much for joining me. If you haven't yet, please vote for the best Cars Diecast of 2024. That would be pretty cool. No, don't vote for the worst one. Oh no! I assume by yellow blob you mean Gearston. Unfortunately, Gearston was a new release for 2023, so Gearston doesn't count. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching this live stream. And remember, vote for the best Cars Diecast of 2024. A link in the pinned comment. Bye now. Thank you, everybody. Bye.